my family, we have one of my family members who is a suicide attempt survivor. So that experience kind of happened earlier in our immigration process, meaning that we were also pretty lost in a sense of finding resources and navigating the mental health system as an immigrant family, right? So all of that just sparked something in me to start this advocacy work and prevention work for our local Latina families.
I actually changed my career path from psychiatry to mental health counseling, and that's what you'll see me doing today. So that is how this journey all started for me, and it started a 4-year path where I worked directly on the crisis line, answering those National Suicide Prevention Lifeline calls. I trained incoming crisis intervention specialists and then went on to assist the 988 initiative in Indiana.
So when we think about assessing suicide and suicide thoughts or ideations or behaviors, I often tell my supervisees to first be comfortable asking the questions, right? Because you can have all fancy assessments you want, but if you're not comfortable asking the questions, and unfortunately, some graduate programs don't really prepare our counselors to have these hard conversations and difficult conversations, and in some cultures, very stigmatized conversations. So practice asking the question, have you thought about harming yourself? Have you had thoughts of suicide? Have you had a past suicide attempt?
When counselors appear competent and confident in talking about suicide, that increases hope for clients, because it makes them feel like I can actually talk about this. Like, that's a huge weight off your shoulder to be like, I can open up about something that is so stigmatized that people don't like to talk about, but this counselor sitting across from me is gonna, lend an ear and hear my story, and that's very powerful.
One of the ones that I often use assessment-wise is the Columbia Suicidality Rating Scale. And why I like that scale is because it's an extensive scale, so when you're using it, make sure that you take your time because it can be a little long. But it goes through every aspect and section of suicide. It's not just have you thought about harming yourself, yes and no. It then asks about the plan, it asks about the frequency, it asks about the support system of the client. So there's different sections and different layers to it that you can get into a deeper understanding of the client's experience.
There's a couple different acronyms that I'm going to be talking about today that I just find very helpful. And one of them is HISPAL. So that is an assessment tool that I was trained on 6 years ago, and I still use it as just something to help me assess for clients who may be experiencing suicidal ideation. But what that stands for is we're talking about history. So have they attempted before? Have they known someone that has attempted? So what is the specifics of the plan? Are there any specifics? Proximity. So how close are the means? Are they keeping it, stored at their house, or is it with a friend who has those means? How close is help? Can they rely on support to help them through this crisis? And then lethality. What is the expected harm of the means that they are expecting to use? So, HISPAL is really something that can just be this quick acronym that you can remember to help assess for a client who may be experiencing suicidal ideation.